Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
So we're gonna do your guys' one of your favorite trope videos.
Yes, this is one of the most popular
And
videos
most
we do.
requested. And one of my favorites.
Yes.
It's time for more breeding, guys. So we've got more breeding wrecks coming your way today. Aren't you happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they also
Right.
have plot. There's other things
Oh,
happening
there's so
usually.
much more. Breeding is just a small part of the books, but it's the part that I really love. So for all you kinky little stinkers out there, this one's for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, before we get started with the breeding, growing up on a farm, this takes on like a whole new meaning. Like, anyhow, what do we got to go over before we start?
I will never forget how I learned about breeding
What?
on the farm.
What? I don't remember the story.
I was little and I
Oh,
came running in the house to tell my mom that our rooster was trying to kill one of the hens and she needed to come quick. And she died laughing. Yep.
yeah. I don't remember being on like I don't remember that kind of thing from being on the farm. What I do remember is when our kids were really little. My husband grew up in New York, so not New York City. He was upstate New York, but he wasn't like he didn't grow up in a small town on a farm like you and I did. And my dad had bunny rabbits, and I think our middle child was a baby at the time, just little. And he happened upon the rabbits as they were being rabbity in what rabbits do. And he was fascinated and like that. Wow, I still remember his reaction to that. Where for me, being a farm kid, it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, my poor little city boy.
You just overshared so badly.
I know, it's okay. He was also a little like taken aback when the goats gave birth too. So, never seen anything like that before. Anyhow, let's talk. What do they need to know though before we do this?
Well, there's probably nobody left watching at this point.
Laughing. It's okay.
If you're still here, please hit the subscribe button. I'd like to say this is out of the norm, but with Jessica, you just never know what she's
Not
going to
out of
share.
the norm.
She swore up and down she would never talk about her arse surgery, and we lasted like 3 videos before that came out.
Because Mandy's on the sidelines going, this is a typical thing for women. I don't think this would be really bad for you to put it out there because a lot of women have to have hemorrhoid surgery. Okay, Mandy, I'll share that now. She encouraged it, guys.
When we were at Wild and Windy Phoenix, I jokingly made a bingo card of all the things that Jessica will overshare about. I got a blackout.
Only because hemorrhoid surgery was not on that card. Because I did not talk
Actually, it
about it.
was, and I think I just jokingly said I got a blackout. I
I
did
think
put that
that's
on
the
there
case.
because
Yeah.
I figured it would eventually come out. It's like Jessica talks about her boobs. Jessica talks about her daughter being in running start. She talks about her son's brain surgery.
Yeah,
She mentions that her husband's from New York.
I do.
She mentions where her in-laws live.
I do. Yes. I'm an open book. It's not oversharing. I'm an open book. I will tell you guys all the things. But let's stop talking about all the things and start talking about what else they need to know. Is there anything else they need to know? Did you do that? You did do that.
I
Right.
begged the people to not leave. How did you already forget?
Oh, I got it. Okay. All right, guys. Let's start talking about breeding in books,
Yes.
not on the farm.
Also,
Okay.
if you stick around, we are giving away those coveted cover books when we get to
We are.
3,000.
We are. We are. Okay. All right. Well, my first book is one I read at the end of last year. Breeding is a very heavy topic in this book. I do think that you should read the first book before. This is the second book in a series. I think you should read the first one before you read this one. But this is Vulfu by Dylan Paige. This is the second book in her Primal series. This takes place in the 70s, where like 4 girls are kayaking in this um, forest in Oregon. It was like a national forest that had been closed down for years, and now it is just open up. They all decided to go kayaking, and because of some really crummy choices, they get separated and they're injured, and we don't know what happens to the other girls. So the first book is about one of them. The second book is about a different girl. And so this is Stephanie's story, and the book's called Vulfu. Sorry, I probably didn't say that. But Vulfu, these guys that they find, and part of the reason why this this forest has been shut down is it's got basically like cavemen hanging out in there. And so she gets taken by a tribe of cavemen, and the leader of that tribe is Vulfu. Now, when she is taken, like when she's found and taken, she's found by a woman in the tribe who thinks that she is a baby, and because she's so tiny and petite, and they try to treat her like a baby. Now, Vulfu is pretty certain, nope, she is a grown woman, and he wants her for a mate. Which then means babies. And so the minute her period shows up, he kind of loses his mind and is like, yep, there's my woman, I'm gonna claim her. There is a storyline, there is plot to this as well, but there's quite a bit of breeding too, because cavemen need to continue on their line. So, can't wait for the third book to come out. She's only gonna have 3. It makes me want to cry. But yeah. Okay, what you got?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna start it off with like breeding intense with Deception by BJ Alpha.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, so we have Rocco. Rocco is young, but he has grown up in the mafia world and he knows exactly what he wants, and he will stop at nothing to get. It's Hallie, right?
Yep.
Hallie. I'm always worried I'm going to say it wrong because I usually do. So he will stop at nothing to get Hallie. He manipulates and he stalks his way into her life. So he ends up being a student in her classroom. Again, he is very mature because of the mafia world that he has grown up in. And he goes for it like hardcore. And this book is like really spicy. There is a lot of breeding. Like that is his main goal, is to breed. But the plot is actually very thick in this. So not only do we have a spicy book, we have a very plot thick book that has lots of twists and turns that you don't necessarily see coming, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. And I have just been loving Reverse Age Gap, and this is another one where it is done right, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. We read this one together in a reading vlog, and it was so much fun.
Yes.
Like, so much fun. I loved
I
it.
haven't done a vlog in a while. This was our last one, and this was back in like November, I think.
You should get caught up in the Storm series because Reed is coming, and I can talk to BJ.
Oh, we could do that one.
That's an idea.
Yeah. Well, she also has another
else.
Mafia Daddies coming too.
Oh, she does. Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, speaking of BJ Alpha, my next breeding book is Stone by BJ Alpha. Look, guys, BJ is the place to go if you are looking for breeding with plot and spice heavy. Like she's just as spicy. The funny thing is I talk with BJ almost daily, and you will never hear her use a swear word, or like she's very proper, but in her books, not so much. It's great. I love it. So this is about Sienna and Stone. So this is a spin-off of her Secrets and Lies series. So this is the start of a new series. And this is very taboo. Our hero and heroine are half siblings. But Stone, who is our hero, is the bastard of this mafia family. He is the only bastard that their father has ever claimed. And he has been abused. He's been mistreated his whole life. And when he was brought in, he was a teenager when he was brought into the family. I can't remember exactly how old. He doesn't remember anything from before that. He has amnesia. And so Sienna is his believed to be half sister because, he doesn't remember, but the dad has claimed him so that they're half siblings. And Sienna is the only one who can comfort him. She's the only one who sees him. They have a very, very close knit relationship, and I'm not talking a siblings relationship. But what happens when her father forces her to marry somebody else? Because, mafia. So there is quite a bit. There is breeding in this one as well. But I don't want to say anything more because there's just so much. This is so good right now. It's my favorite BJ book. So that's saying a lot because I love my BJ books.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my next one was what I just kind of felt like I was reading this like small town, mature heroine, widow book, and all of a sudden the breeding kicks in.
Gotta
Yeah,
love it.
with
Mm-hmm.
lots of dirty talk,
Ooh.
if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that's probably the first time I've said those words on this channel. I don't usually describe it like that. But this one just kind of like you don't see it coming. Like if you pick up a mafia book, it is not surprising that breeding is in there.
Right. Right.
Okay, so this is Beautiful Crazy by Ashley James, but it's written as A. James, so I'm not sure why the change, but that's how it is. So we have Gemma. Gemma is a widow. She is raising her son. She has a really strong support system with friends, and she's just like things are pretty good for her, but she's extremely reluctant to date. And her friends like keep gently encouraging her to put herself back out there. And Everett ends up moving into the house next door, and he quickly befriends her and her son, and he actually ends up being her son's teacher. And then they start to become friends with benefits. And from there, things escalate in the breeding aspect, if you will. I love this one so much. I listened to the audiobook. Samantha Brittmore and Connor Crass narrate it. They did a phenomenal job. I mean, Samantha Brittmore, I could just listen to her read the encyclopedia and I would love it. But I just love this one so much. So we do have that mature heroine situation also happening here. So if you like mature heroine, which we know lots of you do, you get that here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just don't like see that coming in like a small town romance.
Yeah. Yep. When you said mature heroine, that got me thinking about the person who shared our page and replied to us as mature, older YouTubers, booktubers. You think it's funny? I'm looking at it going, okay, thanks a lot, dude. I mean, thank you for promoting us, but at the same time, really? Okay. Anyhow,
What? Well, I mean, we're not in our 20s.
speak for yourself. I'm still 24. Last I checked. My brain thinks I am. My kids prove otherwise. Okay, anyhow, my
I
next
don't
book.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I know. I know. Okay. I refuse to get old. I will, but I
The
refuse to.
denial is just not a river.
No, it's all of you too. Okay. So the next book I read yesterday. The audio for this book actually just came out on Tuesday the 8th. So it just came out and I listened to this one and I really enjoyed it. That is Venom Island by Lexi C. Foss. This is kind of part of like she has a whole shifter series, like her X Clan and all those. This is a spin-off of that. And right now there's 3 books in the series. She writes the first one, and there's 2 other authors that write the ones that come after it. So this is about Kaja is how the narrator said her name. It's Caja. I would say Kaja, but I guess it is Kaja. And Enrique. And so this is a wolf shifter book. And our heroine has been kept by her father, basically in a cage since she became an Omega. Or since he knew she was an Omega from a young age, and with the intention to sell her off to the highest bidder because her dad is a really bad man. And at the beginning of this book, the compound that she is in is raided, and she is rescued by Enrique and a bunch of other guys. Well, there's a few other Omegas there as well. She's very naive. She doesn't know a lot because she's been kept in a cage her whole stinking life. So now that she's free, there is an attraction between her and Enrique, and she can't quite figure out what that is. But all these Omegas and stuff that have been rescued are now going to be put on a plane and sent to one of these locations, like the X clan or these other clans, because this is a dystopian type world, where wherever they choose to go, that's where they're going to go. And so she gets put on a plane with a few other Omegas with Enrique. And something happens and the plane crashes and she and Enrique have to survive together, but she goes into heat. So there's breeding. There is definitely breeding. I really want to read the other two books in this, by the way. I don't know if they have it, but I'm assuming because it's all in the same world. Breeding. My husky's starting to, I can tell her she's going to start howling at us here in a minute because I think Jeff's home and she can hear it. Okay, anyhow, we'll see what she does.
Speaking
Next.
of breeding, Mr. Goose has to go to the vet.
Oh, time for the schnippity schnippity.
He's
Sorry,
6
dude.
months old now. He's got his appointment.
It's better than that than humping your leg.
We were talking about it yesterday, and he legitimately had this like worried look on his face. It was kind of funny.
You were talking about taking his giggleberries, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor boy. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my next book is called Run Little Bunny by Serena, I think,
Serena.
Pure. And usually isn't there an I in Serena though?
Doesn't have to be, huh?
Okay, well, hopefully I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Run Little Bunny, and we have Ava and Chad. And Ava goes to an Easter egg hunt with her, I think it was her sister and her little kid, and they're there, and there's this guy in a costume dressed as a bunny because he lost a bet in his fantasy league, and so he is now having to wear the bunny costume for the Easter egg hunt. And they have like this little flirty, fun encounter, and she agrees to meet him for, I think it's drinks or dinner or something like that, at High Five, the local bar. And so she goes there, and he's still wearing the bunny mask, and they kind of hit it off. He obviously knows who she is, and then she finds out, like, oh, it's Chad. Well, Chad's 34 and she's 22, and he's been a little hesitant. He's kind of had a crush on her, but he's been hesitant because of the whole, age gap thing. And the two of them are hot together. There's so much going on in here. So we have a lot of secret identity happening at the beginning. Then we end up with primal play. We end up with breeding. We have a lot of stuff packed in this novella, and it is so good. I loved it. I loved the plot, and I loved how quick we got to the action in there. I really, really enjoyed it. It was one of my top reads for March.
Yeah. Okay, well, my next book goes dark. You got bunnies over there, but I've got crazy
Fun.
doctors in mine. Yeah, I know. My last one's more fun than serious. This one's serious. So this is Breaking the Girl by Eva Marks. This is about our hero, who is a psychiatrist, but he specializes in hypnotherapy. He has a daughter who has a best friend named Leighton. So right before Leighton turned, or right around the time Leighton turned 18, he started to recognize her. There was an attraction there. And because he noticed that and he realized that it was highly inappropriate, he sent the girls to college across the country. He talked his daughter into going because he knew where one went, the other one would follow. And so he talked them into going to college across the country, and he stayed away. Well, now it's been, 4+ years since they were in college, or since they left for college, and they're back home. They're getting ready to both girls are getting ready to move to New York to start their jobs. They both got jobs in the same area, and they're going to be roommates in New York. Well, his daughter is a little suspicious and very possessive of her father, and he's afraid something is going to happen to Leighton because something has happened in the past with other women that he has dated, and he's trying to protect Leighton. So he kidnaps her and puts her in this glass house that he had built for her during those 4 years when he was trying to stay away, and tries to knock her up. He does use hypnotherapy too to get her to comply, and it's definitely, there's a lot of red flags, there is a lot of triggers. Please check them before going into this one. It is definitely darker, but it did it for me. Hey, you get her knocked up, you're stuck with her, she's yours. I think that was his way of thinking. Yeah. We don't condone any of this in real life, guys.
Okay, next up, because I know I just did this one when we did the daddies. So, but like it just had to be in here because it's Daisy Jane. And like, can we do a breeding video and not have a Daisy Jane book? I don't think we can. So this is Big Daddy by Daisy Jane. Hopefully you've picked this up and read it if you're into the daddy thing or any of this stuff. If you haven't yet, though, here's your sign to go read this one. So we have Winnie. Winnie is kind of just down on her luck. She's at her best friend's apartment. They've been best friends through college and stuff, and she's there. And she's just feeling like really overwhelmed with life and bills and like all of this. She doesn't really have a support system. And so she lives in this really tiny apartment with a bunch of roommates. So she's hanging out at her friend's house and just really kind of struggling. And in walks Quincy, who's her friend Brielle's dad. And he comes in because he pays for the apartment, so he can come in when he wants to. And she is sitting there in tears. And for whatever reason, that bothers him and he wants to fix the situation, which leads him to getting her a job with him. He's like a high powered lawyer. And so he gets her a job working with him. And she refers to him as Big Daddy because he's bossy with his daughter and all that. And they've actually never met until this time. She's only heard about him through the friend. And so at work, she will call him Big Daddy. And he's like, don't call me that at work. And she's like, okay, large father. So there's a lot of like bantering and things in here. We definitely have age gaps since this is her best friend's dad. And once things start to happen between them, Big Daddy has one goal and he's going to make that goal happen. And I'll just let you think about what that goal could be since the title of the video and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I loved this so much because we actually see Big Daddy actually, I'll call him Big Daddy myself apparently, Quincy go through some real character development because he realizes like his relationship with his daughter is strained because of his behavior. And then there's a lot that goes on with our characters. It's not just a daddy book or breeding and all of that. Like the characters truly do go through changes. Like Daisy's really good about writing very good in-depth characters with plot, with helping of kinky breeding and daddy vibes.
Yeah. Okay. So my last book that I have is a little more on the fun side of breeding. There is a little bit of stalking, but this one is just a lot more fun and dirty. And that is Bred by the Wolfman by Leonie Riley. I think that's how you say her name. I'm so bad with that. But this one is about Dee. So in this world, this is a paranormal. So in this world, there are paranormal creatures, and it's harder for them to get their paranormal mates knocked up, or people who are the same not gender, same species. That's what I'm looking for. Species as them. It's their birth rates are declining, and so they have this program where human women can offer their services to be a surrogate for these creatures. And so Dee is in need of money, and so she signs on to be a surrogate for a creature. She doesn't know what she's going to get. She shows up at the clinic and she's face down, ass up, bound to a table, and waits for the guy to come in. And that is where we meet our hero, Russ. Now, they're not allowed to see each other. They're not allowed to exchange any information. Otherwise, it compromises him getting his baby. But there's a couple of breeding sessions that happen before a baby shows up. And then when the baby kind of shows up, then he really starts to stalk her because the minute he meets her, he knows that that is his fated mate. And now she's carrying his pup. Like, what you gonna do? So, I actually really enjoyed this one. And there is a second one in this book, in this series. I think it's a novella and it's Bred by the Dragon because we hear a little bit about the dragon guys in the book. So, I haven't read that one yet, but I'm assuming it's just as fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, my last one is a recent read for me, and I just had to throw it in here. The breeding is a little bit different, so I will talk about that.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so this is Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. And so we have Layla. Layla has been putting herself through vet school, and she's trying to complete like her hours and things. And so she just recently broke up with her boyfriend Casey. They were the relationship isn't described as much as a relationship. Basically, like he needed somewhere to live and she let him, and then she did the dishes and all of that and kind of was like a maid to him. Well, they broke up because he was cheating on her. And he left a bunch of his stuff there and he's never come to get it. And but she feels sentimental for him because like there's sentimental things in there. So she like has empathy for him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So she goes to take this stuff on her way. Like she's got her car loaded up. So she puts his box of stuff in there and she's going to drop it off on her way to her next vet thing. And she meets this like hot cowboy at the gas station. And then she goes driving off to this house where it's his last known address basically, and she goes to drop it off, and who answers the door in a towel but the hot cowboy she saw in town. And it turns out he's actually Casey's dad. He was like 17 when Casey was born, but we do have an age gap going on there. And then circumstances lead her there again, and she ends up stranded to where he offers her a job, and she accepts because she's kind of desperate. And the two of them, things start to happen between the two of them, and that they both try and fight it because he doesn't want to mess up his relationship with his son that he's trying to repair. And so the reading comes in because he's like obsessed with it, but he's also obsessed with contraceptives. But I really, really loved this one. It's good.
Mm-hmm. They
And
don't actually
Jessica
have
told
to
me
produce.
I could use it.
Yeah, they don't actually have to produce a baby. Like they can be into the whole breeding thing without producing a baby.
Yes,
It's just a kink. It's all good. It's all good. So
exactly. And that's what this was.
yeah, love it. Some people don't always want to read when a baby shows up, but they still like the breeding concept. It's awesome. All right. Well, there you go,
And you might want
guys.
to skip that epilogue.
Yeah, that happens in a lot of books, but there you go. There's 10 more breeding recs for your little breeding hearts.
Yep, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let us know if you want more of these videos, because
It's only been 3 months since we did our last one, but this
really?
one's in demand. Yes, I did. I looked it up.
Oh
It's in
wow.
demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
Yep.
you guys seem to like them, so we'll keep doing our breeding videos.
Yes, we will.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Okay, well, make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. Also, hit that notification button so you don't miss any of our extras, such as the ones that come out on Wednesdays. And tell us in the comments how you like breeding books. I know. And whatever tropes you are hoping to see this spring from us.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.